Hi, I'm Chaplain Chris. I'm a chaplain here in Marin County and work in the Marin County Jail and San Quentin State Prison. I've been doing this work for quite a while now, almost 20 years, and I got recruited actually by a church member who was moving out of the community and needed someone to replace him on the institutional committee. And so he cornered me, a new church member in the church, and said, "How'd you like to do this work?" And I looked and said, "Sure, why not?" And so anyway, I got into it somewhat accidentally. Let me tell you about an inmate that I've been seeing for about a year now. He has been in county jail for almost 5 years now. And in all that time, he's been in the lockdown unit, which is a solitary confinement unit. So every 48 hours, he gets an hour and 15 minutes out of his cell. That's basically his scenario for the last nearly 5 years now. When we first met, he actually requested a Spanish-speaking chaplain. He spoke virtually no English, and I spoke virtually no Spanish. I searched in vain and couldn't find a Spanish-speaking chaplain, so we just decided that we would try to make it work. And surprisingly, in the year that I've been seeing him, our sessions have been extremely effective. I would say initially when we started talking, we understood probably 70 or 75% of what each other was saying. Now it's probably 98%. It's just a great example of how the truth knows no boundaries. I could tell right off the bat that he was a serious student of Christ. This is a guy who he not only knew the Bible, but he knew how it applied to his everyday life. He used to make references to Bible passages and then talk about them and how they really apply to his situation or issues that we were discussing. And so I could understand right away that this was a guy that knew what was going on. I've been seeing this guy for about a year now, and in that time he's had numerous healings. He's brought the truths of Christian Science to a number of other people in lockdown. He's a great student, and let me tell you a little bit about our daily interaction. So I'm seeing him every week, and I'm sending him materials on a weekly basis as well. He's got a voracious appetite for this work. He's read Science and Health 2 or 3 times. I got him miscellaneous writings and a number of other works by Mary Baker Eddy in Spanish. He's devoured those. I just recently got him a copy of Prose Works, and he's wading through that. He's read 2 or 3 biographies. So he's a guy that's really interested in understanding these ideas more fully, and he also clearly sees how Christian Science concepts kind of fit in with what he grew up with in terms of his own spiritual background. He was in the little kitchen area in the pod microwaving some water for tea, and he took out the cup of boiling water, and another inmate bumped into him and spilled the water on his wrist. And he looked down at his wrist, and it was immediately very painful, he said, turned red. And he said it was very simple. He just remembered some of the truths that he'd been reading about that morning from the lesson sermon. Very simple ideas, and he looked at it and he says, this isn't the truth about who I am. And he knew that so clearly that he said within less than a minute, the redness had completely disappeared. There was no pain. The other inmate came back to apologize, and he said, "No problem. There was no harm done." It was just a really great instant example, basically, of a healing. He's also helped other inmates with physical issues that they've had. COVID symptoms, a dislocated finger. There were some other healings that he's helped with other inmates with. And he's brought them into some of these ideas that he's been studying, which has really been powerful. Despite being in lockdown and not really getting out, he's found ways to communicate with inmates in other cells and brought them other materials, Christian Science materials, that have really helped them learn and grow in their own right. He has also been sharing a lot of what he's been learning with some of his family members and with friends that he has on the outside. So it's fun to see the ripple effects that this work is having and that his new understanding and enlightenment is causing.